leeches became the latest health trend.
Again.
Can we say ooh?
No, I say again, because you watch the old shows from the 70s. If you look at a period movie or whatever in the 1700s, 1800s, 1600s, their method of healing was
Leeches. Well, and in fact, if you think about this, George Washington died because of leeches. He was sick, and the doctors went in and they put leeches on him, and they actually drained him of too much blood, and it ended up killing him. So there's other stories that are kind of related to the George Washington and around his death and all that, but some have a little bit more sinister aspect to it. But yeah, he basically died because they overleached him. They leached him. Yeah, he was leached by the leeches. But so some of the things here in this article, by the way, and you can go to thedrudgereport.com and find this, but I'm going deeper into the article talking about the leeches themselves, because it's kind of become this new craze. And it also gives us testimony of this one young lady who went up to a particular lake somewhere in southern Bulgaria that's full of an extremely healing variety of leech. And she was drawn to this place. Supposedly, people had been going there for years to seek out the creatures. They would tie a ribbon to a tree, and they found a leech to drink their blood. And so here's some history on it. The healing power of leeches has been immortalized for thousands of years in the tombs of the Egyptian pharaohs, verses of ancient Greek poetry and early medical writings in Arabic, Chinese, and Sanskrit. The Greek philosopher Hippocrates, sometimes called the father of medicine, asserted that disease arose from the imbalance of bodily fluids, phlegm, black and yellow bile, and blood. He claimed releasing impure blood could prevent sickness and cure disease. Physicians took the advice to heart. In the 2018 book, 9 Pints, A Journey Through the Money, Medicine, and Mysteries of Blood, journalist Rose George writes, bloodletting was an unquestioned as Band-Aids. And for early doctors looking to rid patients of what they believed was an unhealthy excess of blood, leeches were a perfect fit for the job. Different cultures used a number of species for bloodletting, but the most renowned was the Hirudo medicinalis, also known as the European medicinal leech. In the Middle Ages, the use of leeches spread as barbers added the animals to their toolkits of razors and scissors. At the time, the professionals were just as likely to drain blood, extract teeth from their clients as they were to cut hair. That's what that sounds barbarous. Okay.
Barbarian.
Okay, how about this? The leech craze reached a peak in the early 1800s when a famous French surgeon named Francois Broussais, okay, I'm sorry, I butchered that, alleged that all diseases stemmed from an inflammation in the gut and could be relieved by bleeding. Since cut open veins tend to infection, often release too much blood, Broussais advocated for the use of leeches as a safer alternative. And now let's go to the modern. In a biotherapy history, principles, and practice textbook about the use of living organisms in the treatment of disease, the authors explain that the doctors all over the world, from Brazil to Eastern Europe, used leeches to treat everything from headaches to epilepsy and tuberculosis. Russian emperors and English princes employed leeches when they fell ill. Embroidered leeches adorned women's dresses in France. Ooh. And then doctors prescribed the creatures with such frenzy that leech populations throughout Europe grew scarce. And then bloodletting eventually died out in the advent of antibiotics and the rise of modern medicine, but the use of leeches didn't disappear. The therapy survived to treat pain and reduce inflammation alongside other low-cost folk remedies, particularly in Eastern Europe, where some pharmacies sold leeches by the jar well into the 1960s. And today, using leeches for medicinal treatment is called hydrotherapy or hydrotherapy. Many of the professional practitioners, called hydrotherapists, promote leech therapy to treat a long list of medicinal conditions from asthma to infertility. And through places like the Academy of Therapy in Las Vegas, which charges $10,000 for a full course, almost anyone can become certified in the practice. Well, what do y'all think about this? You ready to get leached?
Stupid.
No.
That's all you.
That's what I have to say.
What are your real thoughts about that, Sandy?
Stupid. Come on, people.
Sandy, do you have any dresses with leeches on them?
Do I have
any
what?
dresses with leeches on them?
Oh yeah, I that, and then I have some scorpions and.
Hey, is that where the Paisleys came from?
That's it. That's where Paisleys. Yeah, they couldn't put them on there anymore, so they just drew them on there.
Yeah.
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 You have a lot of Paisley shirts.
I know. Sandy likes me wearing Paisley shirts.
No.
Paisleys were big in the 60s too, by the way.
Yeah, they were. And we needed to leave them in the 60s.
Amen.
John and Sandy. So.
Well, you know what? Those shirts cost lots of money. And when you go to, they look very nice on him.
She still likes me wearing Paisley shirts.
And when you go to the store, you still see those.
You still see Paisley. You sure do. It's still a design.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to hear Daryl's thought up there from your perspective. Would you ever get leached, Daryl?
I do all the time. It's called filing my taxes.
There's some bloodletting going on there.
That's exactly right. That's a good one.
So do you ever feel better once it's all said and done, though?
Oh yeah, it's a catharsis, no question. I donate blood on a regular basis, and there is definite health benefits to it because you're recycling the blood that you give, and I think there's something definitely therapeutic. Actually, Hippocrates, in that whole understanding of, or his theory about the different color biles, he actually associated that with also personalities, in that based on the color of the fluids that you had in your body would determine what your personality was. And although the medical hocus pocus obviously has been debunked, there is a whole study of different personalities, which I've been teaching on for about 20 years. It's remarkably accurate. But going back to the whole idea of leeches and everything else, I mean, everything old is new again. It's amazing how things get recycled. Yes, there sometimes does need to be a bloodletting. There needs to be a releasing of infection and stuff like that. But at the same time, putting on these little critters that are actually going to suck your blood out is not something that I think would appeal to me, and certainly something that I think there's a much better way to do it.
Right?
And I think all Paisley should be recycled. They go in the recycle bin, give it to the thrift stores. And, yeah.
Okay, so Mark, I'm going to read this next paragraph. I want to see if you could get Adina to participate, or maybe I should say my wife, or maybe Daryl. Maybe you should comment on this. It's about how therapists specialize in beauty treatments and offer leech facials, in which the bloody contents of a leech's stomach are spread over a client's face in a sticky mask that's supposed to reduce wrinkles and promote glowing skin. Celebrities like the actor Demi Moore and model Miranda Kerr have talked about getting the treatment, boosting its popularity in recent years. Well, what do you think? Can you get your wives to participate in something like that?
No, absolutely not. Nope, nope, not going to happen. My wife is already as gorgeous as she can possibly get. Why in the world would I need to do anything different?
There you go.
I see it. So, yeah, and I don't know. I don't think Milena would either.
No.
So what about
if it's a practice that comes from Hollywood, it's probably best to avoid it.
So Sandy, you don't want a sticky mask of leech blood?
No, I don't want any. No, absolutely not. But I also have this issue back to what you were talking about, because life is in the blood, and we know from scientific studies that you can have your blood withdrawn from you. Okay, give blood, and it's over here in the U.S. or Canada, and that's in Australia, and your blood will respond even where you are at now.
Yeah.
So
because of that quantum physics
sort of thing, supernatural, amazing stuff going on here. So it's precious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And is a leech clean? Do we eat leeches?
Nope.
You really want them. We're not eating them, but you want to, I like what Tova said. So let it run through an unclean animal and back into our bloodstream. That's going to help us a lot.
Yeah. I'm with you. Well, actually, it doesn't run through the animal at all. I think it just comes out, and they contain it. I'm not real sure, but I think so. You don't actually run it through the leech. I don't think is the deal. Did you guys see Stand By Me?
No. Did we? Have we seen it?
The four boys
Mm-hmm.
going to find a dead body.
Yes.
We watched it last night.
I haven't seen it in years, but I've seen it.
There's a part where they walk through this bog, and when they get out, they're all covered with leeches.
It's true.
And it's I don't know, it just made me think about it. But it's not something that you prefer to do. And I think that the modern medicine of today covers pretty much everything that you need without having to use leeches. That would be my answer to this.
Well, have you ever thought about?
Well, what Tova said.
Okay, go ahead, say it.
Tova said people doing stem cell transplants have no idea what they're doing. Once the stem cells are cleaned, you're right there.
Denatured, so no longer work in harmony in the body.
And it's just, when people have their own idea of what medicine is. And if she also says if stem cells aren't yours, then they do not work in harmony, and that's it. That's what Tim is dealing with. He had an
SCT
in his 20s, and now he has cancer that has been caused by the treatment.
Stem cell therapy. Yeah.
You know what? We need the great physician.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amen.
Well, the only thing that I can think of course, I don't understand this whole thing about leeches, but
I have a question for you before you say that. Why did you choose this article? I want to know what was in your thought process.
Yeah, please enlighten us, because this has been a whole rabbit trail that.
I want to talk about leeches today.
It was so off the wall. It was totally off the wall. And I didn't want to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't really want to talk about the fox found at the Wailing Wall or whatever. I don't want to talk about the riots up there.
I'm quite enlightened. I'm glad we talked about it.
I didn't want to talk about the Chinese invasion into Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff I could talk about, or the propaganda that's been of China against America. I mean, I could go into all that type of stuff. So, leeches.
I think on Happy Day, that's the thing you talk about is leeches.
That's right.
I'm with you, brother. I'm 100% with you.
The only thing is, I've never experienced this, and I don't want to experience this, and that is to go into a lake and come out with leeches on my body. Well, I don't want to do that. I just don't.
Let me tell you, if Sandy's against it, I'm for it. Okay, so I thought it was great.
Well, leeches are actually mentioned in the Bible once, and it's Proverbs chapter 30.
And he's only going to do this story once, so we're good.
Proverbs 30:15 says the leech has two daughters. Give.
Give.
That's it. That's all they do.
And see that goes along with his story about women, or the questions about women and stuff.
Oh,
it all ties
all together now.
All ties everything together. Man.
Okay, so I'm going to say this real quickly because Lena K in the chat room said, just read that leeches release proteins and peptides that thin blood and prevent clotting. They are effective in increasing blood circulation and breaking up blood clots. All right.
Well, that's interesting.
And I agree, Lena. She says I had jellyfish attached to me, and that's bad enough. Jellyfish burns are like the worst, and I'm telling you, yeah. So, wow. Ugh.
So have you been attached to a jellyfish before?
I've not been. She was attached to one, but no, I just had their tentacles run across my body, and that's really painful. So, there you go.
That's sort of attached.
And then Marilyn says, simple solution, use a taser. Look how smooth John's skin is.
No, John. That's so weird. Yes. Hey, Matt, wait, why don't we just tase you every week and see if it takes away wrinkles?
It'll take away a lot more than wrinkles.
Taser therapy. I'll be coming. We'll get on the war room.
Well, you'll do a live demonstration.
And you'll know the effect of it as each week, the more I drool.
Taser face.
Taser face. Taser face.
One of my favorite characters.